What's up? Welcome to the All Day Podcast. I'm Brett. That's Lofa. We're here chatting Seahawks and Cardinals. Matchup number 2, the final matchup of these two division rivals for this season, unless they meet up again in the playoffs. How you looking at this one, man?
Well, I think only one is coming out of the West alive, brother. Let's start there. But yeah, I want to see us come out on fire, down in Arizona, because this is right now for first place, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about the Rams or even the Niners, finding life in the last few games, but it's this one, I did circle this one as potentially, I'm not moving off the 11-6. I'm staying with it. Right. And, but going down there 2 weeks between playing each other and then on the road, which we just traveled back from New Jersey. Right. It's not ideal, but it's one we have to have.
Thank you guys for joining the show. Thanks for being here and watching. Leave a comment, question, whatever you got. And, let us know that you're out there while you're watching this video out there on the YouTube and on the podcast world. And if you're listening just on the podcast app, what's up, podcasters? There's people who have never seen our faces, Lofa. Believe that.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah.
I've got a face for radio.
But we're also on YouTube. Anyway, thanks for being here. Okay, so last time we met up, we got a defensive score. The offense only put up not very many points in that one. Do you think they get it together for this one?
Yeah, I think both teams benefit from being in the same division and familiarity between the two squads, but I think it kind of tilts in their favor. That's the only thing I'll say, but I do see our offense getting back on track. Only thing that has me nervous is they seem a lot healthier than us, but offensively, we just have to find the run game. And we do that now that they're in trouble, not us.
Do you think we finally do find that run game, though? Can the offensive line start moving people around, opening up lanes for K9 and for Charbonnet lately? You guys, if you think so, by the way, put a what in the chat for the running game. If you think the running game is on track, put a what in the chat.
Put the little Ferrari.
There you go. Yeah, car emoji. What do you think, though?
Yeah, there was holes in that they opened up last week, and then I don't want to say we abandoned it. I think we had 20 plus runs, which I thought Grubb called a solid game. Yeah, I think we are going to see some more Charbonnet though for all our fantasy players out there. Because K9, well, he's been banged up. He's dealing with like a knee and an ankle. And so, yeah, I think even just out in the field, we'll see some more. But they've opened up some holes, and we just have to stick with it.
Well, okay, so looking at the injury report here, Charbonnet listed as an elbow, but FP, so full participant out there. And K9 listed with an ankle calf LP limited participant. So yep. And that's on Wednesday. So, we'll see what comes out in as weekend progresses and stuff. But yeah, man, they got to get the running game going, because then that just, it gives Geno time, because then they ought to honor the play action and that kind of thing. I mean, the run game sets up the pass game.
Absolutely, brother. And I will say this much. Geno had time last game. That was one of the first times we saw him with, maybe held on to the ball a little too long in a couple situations, to where if we go back to that show, I was like, I just couldn't believe we didn't get more holding penalties, because that's when he holds on that long, we either get a deep shot for a touchdown that gets called back, DK, right? For someone holding on the line, or an illegal shift, or just we haven't been in rhythm. But that game kind of started the turnaround of, at least, and it did coincide with Olu stepping in the lineup. Last week, Abe came back, so we're getting healthy-ish in the front, and it's going to look a lot different for Geno, and that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, last game he was 22 of 31 for 254 and a touchdown, but also the pick. That's a lot of Delta Sky Miles, everybody. So make sure you're signed up for 12 status this weekend, because Geno could get you close to 300 free Delta Sky Miles when you go with the throw. Go to 12status.com to sign up. Must be a legal resident of Washington and 18 years or older. Delta 12 status, everyone. I don't even know where my question was. I just am impressed with my segue.
It was smooth. Smooth sailing.
No, I was just looking up the stats from the last game because, to your point, I mean, Kenneth Walker 16 times they gave him the rock for 41. So it's not as if like there was a ton of the yards, but they were steady Eddie with it because then they gave it to Charbonnet even for 6 more. So for 6 more times. I mean, for 22.
I think the flow of the game dictated that.
Yeah.
It was a close game until that interception. And then I think, Myers, because after the interception, we missed the extra point, right? And then Myers booted like a 50-something yarder down the middle. It was amazing. The game dictated it, but I would be surprised if we're not going up tempo and running more.
Yeah. I want to get to the defense, and because our defense really was the story of the last time we played these guys. You remember, like the next day and everything, just like the defense was really the star of the show and held it down. But sticking with the offense, they made some moves. They waived our guy Laviska Shenault. What did you think of that when you saw that news come down?
Well, I said, and I feel unfortunate, like I manifested it. Because I was like, look, you could be here today and gone tomorrow, and then all of a sudden moves are made. And I feel like when we came out of the bye week, there were some drastic moves made. And I tried to tell everybody, hey, I've seen this take place before where it's like, hey, kind of a wake-up call. And because I used to remember early in the season, I was like, you're either teaching it or tolerating it, which is it? And it was just a couple plays. He's a hell of a competitor. I'd be surprised if he doesn't end up somewhere. And so, I love watching that kid play. He's tough. It's just unfortunate.
What did you see, though? What do you mean?
Just decision-making, right? Like, the fumble.
Yeah.
Then I don't even know. I can't remember if like that ball was behind him when D. Williams fumbled, who's had a fumble or two, another friend of the show, man. But it's just they're not going to put up with any, like with the penalties. You saw those are cut down, right? Now that's a combination of different players in there and guys getting their opportunity and making the most of it. So True. I feel like this is kind of one of those, patterns is like, everyone's been warned, but now this is what happens. And it's unfortunate, but that's how cutthroat this business is, man.
Yeah, totally. Do you think they used him enough though while he was here on offense? Because I mean, as a kick returner, punt returner, I mean, I know that's something he does, but I mean, he could have just, I felt like, been such a weapon on offense.
Bro, with all the quick screens we throw, this is the guy that needs those opportunities. This is the guy that will run over a linebacker because he's just as big as them these days, and he will outrun some other guys and just get tough yards. And we just didn't use him,
Yeah. He took one to the house, though. We've always got that moment with him there. So we wish him well, obviously, and whatever he's doing. Did he get picked up? Can you look that up for me, maybe? Did somebody scoop him up already? Anyway, I almost said K9, but K-Mac and also Charbonnet, I think. There's video of the two of them returning kicks or punts. I'm not really sure. But on the internet, Seahawk fans obviously liking to see K-Mac back. For that, the Seahawks are listening to the show, man.
Yeah, that was our preseason MVP, right? And it's just, hopefully we finally get to see him. And this is a guy, those quick screens, hopefully the opponents aren't listening to the show, but this is a guy that will do work in those quick screen situations and just a well-rounded player. And then especially in the return game, I'd like to see him get his opportunity.
Yeah, me too, man. I think we've been calling for it. I'm anxious to see what he can do with it. If you guys want to get to know him better, he's also been on the show this season, really early in the season. So you can go find our interview with Kenny McIntosh, who will probably be returning kicks or punts this weekend. We brought this up before the show. Offense, Cody White, you were saying you want to see him go deep. We started talking about deep shots in general. Your thoughts there? You feel like we need to go deep more often, and
we haven't. Yeah, brother, we haven't even really tapped into that outside of DK earlier in the season. And Lockett is still a guy that he's so crafty. He can still, I don't want to say take the top off the defense, because if they just know he's going to run a streak, yeah, they'll cover him. But give him an out and up, and he usually does it so veteran savvy like that. The guy's 3 or 4 yards behind him, and Gino's going to put touch on the ball and he'll go get it. But if you don't create division amongst the secondary, it's easy. They just sit and catch the routes and make the tackles or big hits. So, all those things come into play when you don't go vertical and stretch the defense.
Well, yeah, and did you just say this? I had to. Katie was asking me a question, but you also could get the flag. Did you say that?
No, but thank you, producer Katie, because
fight back for the ball. There's also that,
dude. And you guess who does that better than anybody? Lockett. He knows, like, if you go over, it's an extra weapon. Is that, the ball's underthrown, and that's by design sometimes by the quarterback. Even back when Russ was throwing the moon ball, if it was still underthrown, fight back through the guy and hopefully still catch it, because you still want the catch and then make a miss and touchdown, which he's done before. But you want the flag, if nothing more. And yeah, that's defeating. That's deflating for a defense. They're just like, fuck, we had them at 3rd and 15, and they just got a free one.
All right, defense. We can switch gears, I think, unless you got something else on the offense. As we switch gears, let me tell you about BetOnline. BetOnline.ag is the website, or you can use their mobile app. Use BetOnline for all your wagering needs. #1 world's most trusted betting site. They gave me a new copy. Largest selection of odds, everything from football, NBA, college, basketball, NHL in full swing. The UFC also. Go to BetOnline today. Oh, and use their promo code. They got a promo code in the new copy, Lofa. Can you guess what it is? You know it. It's the oldest school one we had. No.
Oh, Jimmy Betts went with believe.
Yep, that's right. Believe, spelled our way.
BLEAV.
Yes. Yeah. You get a welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use the promo code. So go to BetOnline. The game starts here. Defensively, Chenna's back. Wait, what?
Laviska didn't really get picked up.
Oh, Laviska not picked up yet, producer Katie says.
Not that I can
He'll get picked up.
Right.
But thank you, producer Katie.
Thank you for that. Chenna's back, everybody. The pass rush will be back at full strength, or for the first time all season, and everybody's freaking out about it. And let's get after Kyler. I mean, what a week for him to come back, right? We did a good job containing him last time, but how are we going to do it this time? And does Chenna play a factor in that, and all the above?
I hope we rest Chenna.
What? No.
I told you last time. We rushed him out there, and I feel like we're rushing him out there again. But absolutely, it's great to have the Seahawks Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, because he also got that back in the fold. We're just like when Spoon's out there wrecking folks. Love getting in the mix, smoking people like Rayshon Jenks, everybody. Like when you have that many dogs out there, they just feed off of the intensity and the energy that's created. And he's one of those guys that I've seen him reroute some poor receiver just down to Tacoma. Just one little stiff arm. And that guy, he went with the throw, literally. So yeah, hopefully he's back. But I just hope he's listening to his body and he's healthy, because this guy has a lot of years left in him. Just he has to take care of himself. He has to protect himself from himself. Look, I know all too well about that. When they were like, "Oh, well, you cleared all the tests," I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'm in." Like, what are we talking about, folks? And turns out I was not ready most of the time.
Well, they might need him out there though, because flipping back over to the injury report here, I probably spoke too soon when I said we're at full strength here, because Leonard Williams, he's on the list here with a foot DNP. Reed is a NIR rest. So is that maybe a veteran thing? I'm not sure.
Probably at this
Okay.
point in his career. Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully he'll be all right. And then let's see here. Ernest Jones is on there, limited, but that's it's not on the line, but on defense here. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole team is listed on the injury report here. But
yeah.
Chenna finally an FP, a full participant, and Lofa says shut him down.
Hey, I'm just saying. We need full strength for the last 3 or 4 games.
Okay.
Especially going into playoffs. But
we got to get this one though. We got to get this one.
I understand it, but I feel like the game plan, and this is what we really did. We kept Kyler in the pocket. Just keep him throwing from there. It's hard to throw from the pocket, and that's why it's just going to be hard because I know they're going to have some quarterback sweeps designed. They're going to have some misdirection, some rollouts, a lot of play action. That's exactly what they're going to do. Just get them on the perimeter and just tell them, hey, just keep moving the chains, 10 yards, 12 yards, and big shot.
Did you hear that? Lofa Tatupu called Kyler Murray short. Write it down. It was subtle, but that's what he said. Hard to throw from the pocket. That's code.
It's hard to throw from the pocket if you're anybody, but do not let a fast quarterback get outside the pocket. Yeah. Then you're in trouble.
No, you're right. I mean, but the defense was the star of the show last time, right? They held the Arizona Cardinals to 6 points. Do you think they are up to that same task this week?
It's going to be hard. Second time around, especially this short turnaround, we're on their turf. They self-scout just like everybody does. But, I hope they are up to the task because that was kind of what started everything, right? And, in terms of the defense, back-to-back weeks of, Kobe Bryant player of the week, Big Cat player of the week. Let's go for the trifecta. Let's get the hat trick.
Yes, absolutely. Well, if we get it, who brings
Spoon?
It? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he's been playing great like we've talked about, but nothing that really jumps off the stat page yet this season. I think this is the game.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's just his intensity and what he takes away from other offenses that I promise you, he'll still be Pro Bowl. I know the numbers, he would want more. We all want more, but just even that interception that Big Cat took back, which was one of the most insane plays I've ever seen for a 300-pounder going 92 yards, just looked like a Olympic sprinter with that stride. It was beautiful. But Spoon catches all the way up. And you know what the hardest thing for a true dog to not do is just take someone's head off. And he was past Big Cat, slowed down to say good job, and then turned back and saw someone coming and it was just he gave a fake because he wanted to. I couldn't believe he had the wherewithal to just turn it off right there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have.
What a play, man. Did you hear Rabel's call of it?
I did.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been putting that on the internet. It's great. He calls him Leo the whole time, which I have always just called him Leonard Williams. I don't know why. I just, but Rabel just playing it fast and loose with the Leo thing. And maybe it's a lion thing. It's his way of calling him a lion, Big Cat.
Right. I was calling him Lenny. I like Lenny.
Lenny. Whatever you call him. It's a great play. And he's shown up 2 weeks in a row. And I think it's funny. I mean, it's awesome that we've won the defensive player of the week 2 weeks in a row. I think it's funny that Big Cat felt like he was snubbed by our own guy.
I mean, he put in that.
My point was going to be, if they're competing like that, that's a good thing. That's what you want. The LOB would have been pissed if each other won it because they wanted to win it themselves, in a good way, where that competition, iron sharpens iron kind of way.
That is such a great point, though, Brett. There weren't a whole lot of guys that won defensive MVP in the time of the LOB that these guys, Earl Thomas, Bobby Wagner, Sherm, Cam, Michael Bennett, all these guys were stealing votes from each other and somebody else was winning by default. I know there were some guys that had some great seasons, but do you know the list KJ Wright, the guys I just rattled off, Cliff Averill, always up around 10, 11 sacks, Browner, Maxey, just keeps going, man.
Yeah, dude.
Unbelievable.
Crazy. You always bring up that like in the kind of the first go, right? Like Cliff wasn't even a starter at the beginning. It was who else was? I mean,
it was Red and Clem were our starters.
Yeah, Clemens, yeah.
Clem was a 10, 11 sack guy a year.
Absolutely. Cliff before Cliff. Oh man.
Unreal.
Anyway. Yeah. Oh wait, back on track here. Big Cat. What were we talking about? Pass rush at full strength, the defense. Well, the 6 points. I think, and you kind of alluded to it. I don't think this one's the low scoring affair that it was last time. It's the second time. I think both offenses really get on track. I see this one as being more of a shootout. But I just think our defense can just make more plays at the end of the day. But they got weapons, man. Connor, Harrison Jr., Kyler, their offense, can put up points.
Oh yeah, Connor. What was so insane was we hold 7 for 8 yards or like something like that. They only had 49 total yards rushing. That was what I couldn't believe in the first go around.
Yeah, Connor 7 carries for 8 yards.
No, this is a team that they were easily in the top 10 rushing for most of the season. Like they were putting up 30 on a lot of people, and then we held them to 6. It's like, okay, that's making some noise. And then even last week, we gave up a kickoff for a touchdown. So that's 7 that was not on them. And we scored a touchdown again. That's 7 that's in favor of the defense. It's like they're making serious noise right now.
Yeah. The story for them on offense last time was this guy, Trey McBride, who you just have a lack of respect for.
Never heard of him. Turns out he's...
Stop giving him bulletin board material.
Turns out he's pretty awesome. I looked at some of his fantasy stats. Oh, my God.
Yeah, kid's going off. 12 receptions for 133 on the Seahawks. He did not get into the end zone, but if you got him on fantasy, probably put him in this week because he went off last time. How do you see them taking care of him? And if they take care of him, then isn't one of their other weapons going to be open?
Yeah, was really surprised how well we did on Harrison too, but McBride in particular, I would try the young guy on him, T Knight. Let's go ahead, give him some action. He's been a quiet but very productive with pressures or a sack or two, since he started, and then 10 tackles almost every time. He reminds me a lot of David Hawthorne. I know you Hawk fans remember that name. Quick, athletic, always in position, good body position, and can strike. Got a little ways before he earns a nickname, like heater. But he's been awesome. I'd give him a chance, but I probably Julian Love, goes up there, and you could put Spoon on him, he'll be fine. But then you could use Spoon so many other ways. It's like, do we dedicate him to just that guy? And look, they only had 6 points, so I don't care who goes off. Someone's going to get yards. Do not let them get touchdowns. That's all I'm saying. And so
don't let it be Harrison Jr. He's too good. Watch out for that. I think, depending on how his career goes, his staying in Arizona versus whatever else happens with him, we're possibly seeing the beginning of a great rivalry for years to come with him versus our great secondary that we're building, young secondary up here, right? Like, this could be a fun matchup for a long time.
Absolutely. Don't ever like it when our rivals are good, but, the game within a game. I just think back to some of the matchups that, like, when I would see like Sherm, go against Andre Johnson or he had so many. Who's on the Jets? There was so many that he had where it was just like 2 knockout artists. Have you? Yeah, he was on. Well, I remember we moved him inside when the Steelers AB was going off, and they were like, "Hey, Sherm, get inside and play nickel."
I remember that game.
Sherman never done it, but he do. I think he held him to like 1 or 2 catches for like 12 yards. So it was like, but that's just the beauty of like how good he was. He was like, all right, yeah, I've never done this. I'm just going to hold my leverage and, break on the ball when I can. But I, know where, if I do have help, sometimes he did not. I know where the help is. And that's when you can take your chances and to make a big play.
Yeah. What else you got from this game? Because all I have after that is the Baby Mac news.
Um,
And then I was going to get to our guest.
Special teams. Let's talk about the third phase that was really not that awesome last week. Not just the fumbles that we had, but we're not kicking it deep. That's what I was like. Yo, they're getting a lot of return yards. So like, what is it? And why don't we just tell Myers put it through the end zone?
Yeah. Oh, well, what about special teams with Dixon? Is he going to be good to go?
Oh yeah, right. He muscled through it with the back. Yeah, that's our guy, man. Just
another friend of the show, another former guest of the show. Okay, he's listed here with the back limited in practice.
Man, I mean that's a weapon, right? That we rely on
every
week. Especially with the way our defense is playing.
Yeah,
like you that's another weapon just like the defense, and so we need him. Yeah, man. Hopefully he's okay, and then we just either find a way to cover these kicks or kick it out the back.
Oof, man. In all seriousness, like my face went from a smile to just I stiffened up real quick when I remember about Dixon. Like just his back, I'm like, whoop, yikes! Oh no, that's going to be something to watch because Myers was warming up, but he didn't ever have to go out there because they kept kind of letting us off the hook with penalties but that could have gotten real dicey without him. So that's actually a real big one to watch. The other thing though too is real quick that we haven't mentioned is this crazy schedule that we're about to embark on. They did it to us twice, man. Like you and I, we were looking at this thing pre-show, and it's like, how in the world do we have 3 games in 12 days again?
What? I couldn't believe it until producer Mike put the schedule up. He's like, how do you feel about this last stretch? And I was like, holy shit. Did they do it to us again? And we didn't realize it till now.
And we already have to fly from the furthest place, geographically. Seattle's always doing the most air miles anyway, because it's that tiny little jewel up there in the corner. What the hell?
Yeah, not awesome.
The writers this year, they're going on.
They always, plot twist. We got you again.
Oh man, oh boy. Listen. We're going to get to our guest, Ed Smith, who we had on last time we talked about the Cardinals, but you weren't here, Lofa, because it was the big, bomb cyclone and everybody was without power and you didn't have internet and all that. But so I want to bring Ed on. But shout out to Coach Mac and baby Jack David McDonald. He had his son. It's a boy, everybody. So congratulations to Coach.
A linebacker, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, Jackie Mack.
Right? That's a linebacker name if I ever heard one.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, he was just beaming ear to ear, man. It was a cool video to watch of him up there at the podium talking about it. But hopefully they can go, 1-0 in the Jack era and kick it off right,
Right. And kick it off right. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, let's figure out what Ed Smith's got to say about all this. You guys can check out Ed on the Easy Sports Talk Show doing his thing on the Believe Network as well. What's up, Ed? How's it going?
Gents, great to see you guys, man. It feels like it was just last week. It literally was just last week.
Yeah, I feel like when we did that show, we were talking about that then, that we just be here. Wait, I'm going to mute Lofa's lawnmower. Hold on. Oh, somebody's got a lawnmower going on. But here we are again, man. And this time, I mean, we're sitting in first, but we want to get some distance there in first. The biggest divisional game of the year so far. And, we got to take care of business, but this time it's in your house. So how are you feeling about this one, Ed?
I feel the same way as I did about the last game. And you would think, coming here to our house that, that would be an advantage for us. You guys have seen Cardinals games over the last few years. We allowed teams to come in here almost like a home game and kind of take over our stadium a little bit. So not much of a home field advantage. The way we've been playing the last 2 weeks is even more discouraging. We were on that little 4-game win streak, and everybody was, kumbaya and stuff like that, and the sky is blue and everything looks great. And I always remind everybody, you're only as good as your last couple games, and the last couple have shown how inconsistent we can be. Now the chore for the Cardinals is to get back off of the bad train and try to get on the good train, and we know that's not easy. We're going to have to rely on, in my opinion, for this game, rely on some mistakes from you guys to help us try to win this one. But I mean, there's no, for me, I picked, and I think you remember, I think I picked Seattle in that game because, one, you were on the road, your home field advantage, and I just wasn't feeling that fuzzy vibe from the Cardinals. And I still don't, especially after the last couple of weeks, kind of giving some games away. And, it's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be a good game, but I'm not what you call uber confident about, us getting a win here in this situation.
Are you guys like other Seahawk fans out there? Like, are you guys like me, where when Ed starts talking like that, you actually get more nervous? Because I do. Lofa?
I felt very confident until Ed just said they were on a 4-game winning streak, which I totally forgot, because we were on a 3 or 4-game losing streak, and now we're on a winning streak. The tables are turned, and it's just, I don't know. We talk a lot about the NFL being scripted, and I don't like what I'm thinking about right now.
You don't like
the similarity? Yeah, the similarity between our two teams is it's eerie. I mean, we're both are so inconsistent. You guys will go on the road and hammer somebody, then you'll lose against the Giants or something like that. We do the same thing. We let a rookie quarterback come in here, Washington, beat us by 115 points, but then we'll, I'm exaggerating a little bit, obviously, but then we'll go and beat somebody on the road, and it's like this roller coaster, man, is just it's crazy, because from one week to the next, you just don't know which team is going to show up, and a lot of times within 5 minutes of the first quarter, I'm like, oh no, here we go. Or you can tell it looks good, and this might be a good day, but we make blind picks around here because you just don't know from one week to the next which team is going to show up.
Is there anything you can pinpoint when you get the confidence and you're watching your team, like what's going right or definitely what's going wrong when you don't like what you're seeing?
Well, our running game, we are so inconsistent with it, and I don't understand, because we've got James Conner here. I mean, that dude should be getting 25, 30 carries at a minimum every game. That's the type of running back he is. Downhill, every run is not going to be a 20-yard run. He's going to have some 1 and 2 yarders in there because they're shooting gaps. He might even lose a couple on this one, but the more we run him, he wears the defense down. He also gives us the opportunity to run some play action. Like, for instance, this last week in Minnesota, we weren't even out of that game, and he ran the ball for a total of 17 snaps. That is unbelievable. And then you go back a couple weeks to when we played you guys, he had 7 total snaps or carries. How do you do that? So, I mean, for me, it all starts with him. If you run him, you set other things up, and then you take some of the pressure off Murray. And then the other thing, I don't know why we're not incorporating Murray's legs into some of our game plan. It's almost like they're either he or the offense coordinator is like, we're going to make you a pocket passer. And that, being as short as he is, that you just don't do that. I don't understand why we don't have him on the run more, creating you as a linebacker. I mean, how would you feel about having to worry about that dude squirting out the backside every play? It would drive you crazy.
Terrified. I'd just be like, okay, well, I'm covering all these great receivers, and then a guy that's probably faster than them just broke the pocket. Awesome.
Yeah, but if you watch the film on our team, it's almost like they've decided we're not going to do that. So between not running Conner as much as we should, and not incorporating Kyler Murray, and then, like I said, it's a really stagnant offense. There's not much to it, and defensively we're holding up. You look at last week. We held Minnesota to 20 points when it was all said and done, and you would think that would be enough, but we're just not getting it done on the other side of the ball. So once again, it's that inconsistency of we're not getting everything gelling all at the same time. It's frustrating.
Ed Smith is our guest, you guys, a former NFL tight end. began his football journey in Frankfurt, Germany. We talked about it last time you were here, Ed. It made it. I mean, Redskins and Falcons and Eagles and Lions and oh my. But Ed, are people blaming the coach or are they blaming the coordinators? Like, who are Cardinals fans coming after down there for the inconsistency and for the play calling and for the things you're talking about?
Right now, I'm not sure if there's a whole lot of blame going around. One of the issues was when we came into the season, the over-under for this team was like 5.5 games. So the fact that we've already gotten 6 victories, we're fighting, at least, competing and possibly contending, you have to take the good with the bad a little bit. So it's like, well, things could be a lot worse. As far as the inconsistency, I don't know if most fans are not quite sure because they see what's going on the field, but it's almost like this. It's hard to dissect. If you ask the average fan, like, what do you think's going wrong? They would probably look and say, I don't know. And I think that's a lot of what our problem is. Our coaching staff they're still young in the process. Young head coach, first opportunity. Young offensive coordinator, first opportunity. Defensive coordinator, first opportunity. So they're trying to figure it out. And what's happening is we're getting, like I said, it's the inconsistencies of how they do things. And that's, hopefully they're learning that we got to do more of this or we got to do more of that. And then also make the in-game adjustments and things like that. I think we're still learning a lot on the fly, and we're almost 3 years deep into this, and you would hope that, like, the learning curve, we're getting closer to the end of it. But they're still trying to figure it out. I look at it like I'd say it's the coaching. The coaching staff has to mature at a faster rate, and we also need Murray to take a little more, I guess, holds of this as well. Because we all know the quarterback, he steers this thing, but it seems like he's just along for the ride right now. He's not really driving anything.
Lofa, life as a Cardinals fan sounds kind of stress-free a little bit. Their team is pretty mediocre. It's been 2.5 something seasons, and they're just like, we'll keep giving them time. We're just Cardinals fans down here. Like, we're not really expecting anything every year anyway. Let's not worry about it. Like, Lofa, can you imagine Seahawks fans going through what Ed's describing? Like, they're spontaneously combusting if they were going through what Cardinals fans are going through.
Yeah, we do live show after every game, and you would think even in a win, the sky is falling. And it's tough because I try to, and so does Brett. We try to be a voice of reason. Yeah, we'll point out when someone's not doing their job, but also try to explain, from the player and a coaching perspective, like what's being asked of them in that certain situation. And one thing I've been impressed though with you guys is I think you guys have been either the least penalized or one of the 2 or 3 least penalized. And that's something that we went through hell with up here, and it cost us games. And we did come out of the bye week and correct it. And I think I was surprised when we only had 5 penalties, and I think you had 9 going back to our game. So I feel like you guys are in a good position coaching wise, and you have talent there. But yeah, I think the decision to not move, and this Kyler around the pocket, right? Move him out, bootlegs, all that, which opens up the run game when they do actually do the, outside zone and stretch to Connor. But I feel like that was our whole game plan too, though, was like, just keep this guy from going north and south.
In the pocket.
Yeah.
No, we got to get out. And
one
hold
of the
them
things
down.
you mentioned there, Lofa, too, is that I am encouraged because this is a very disciplined team. And I think it all started over the offseason when Gannon, I'll go back to when Gannon first came in. He changed a lot of those rules, like we're not eating in meeting rooms. We're not going to be late. We're not. And, he incorporated a lot of things, which, people think that's like some of those things. And, we've been in the locker room. Those are the type of things that are that starts developing the culture. And then it starts to bleed over into other areas of discipline and stuff like that. And, those little changes, subtle things, you're starting to see it more on the field, which is, I think, very encouraging.
But and I just want all our listeners, you listen to that, that sounds, childish. You can't eat in your meeting room, well, first of all, you don't get a lot of time to eat anyways. You better get your meal in when the time is, allotted. But if you're eating, how the hell are you listening in the meeting, right? we're not multitaskers, right? And we're in there for a long
Yep.
time, and you're fucking shoveling food in. You're bound to miss a couple important coaching points. And so, dude, I love that.
Yeah. And I mean, when he made those little changes, and I was talking to Javon, my partner, and I was like, those are the little things that, will get the organization on track, and just those little subtle changes, and, penalizing guys for being late. I don't care if it's 1 minute late. You should be early for meetings, not late. We shouldn't be starting at 1:05 for a meeting that's at 1:00. Those are and that, like I said, it sets the tone. And as you mentioned, we're playing better on the field as well by with the attention to the small little details. So that's encouraging.
The same thing was happening up here, right? We heard a lot of talk through the training camp and through like the summer of like real strict, like disciplinarian type stuff. Well, we didn't really see the results of that, I don't think, on the field at the beginning, and we were getting penalized a lot. Then a few changes come around, I think, to really instill that message. And now that message seems to be being received. Thank goodness it's not taking 2.5 seasons. No.
Right.
Quicker studies. Sorry. It's caught in there and it won't leave. Okay. Ed, well, I mean, what about going against our offense here? Because your defense, like we said, this last game was low scoring, guys, 6-16.
Yeah.
I don't see it going that way again. I don't think Lofa does either. I think it's the second time they're seeing each other. I think it'll be a bit more loose. But your defense was up to the task last time, and they're able to do some things. I mean, we had nowhere to run the ball.
I was really surprised, and I was shocked at the score of that game. And if you think about it, if I'm going back, I think I was Murray's inexplicable pick six too, wasn't it? Where he just tossed one up there, and you got. So if you think about it, you guys 9 points were scored on our defense. The other 7 were a gift from Kyler. So and that's our defense. They've been playing, even with the Minnesota this past weekend, like I said, and they've been playing really well. If we could just get everything to gel at the same time, this team, you never know where they could go. The thing is, we have to once again concentrate on stopping your running game. And then you always hope with Geno, you hope he gives you 1 or 2 of those head scratchers that, he can do it every now and then. So, I mean, you can't rely on those, but when he gives them to you, they are great. So, as far as if we can stop the running game, make Geno have to drop back a ton of times. Hopefully our defense is up to task to get one of those. Pick sixes are always welcome, but even just flip fields and stuff like that. So we can't allow you guys to come in here and put the ball in Walker's hands or anybody else's and just run the ball downhill and expect to win this game. So the first and foremost, stop the run. And Buddha's going to be back there patrolling, and you hope he's filling gaps and stuff like that, and then hopefully make this one a game. I'm with you. I don't see this one being a 16-6 at all. This one will probably be one of those real high scoring. Both teams get the 30. Whoever gets the 35 first might win it. Who knows? I just don't see a 16-6 coming up.
Well, that time has come to predict the score. Yeah. We do this thanks to our sponsor, Simply Seattle, the best apparel company up there in Seattle, doing it well for your Seahawks gear, your Kraken gear. They're the world's largest Seattle Supersonics retailer. Bring them back. They're coming back. Get your merch in advance. Go to simplyseattle.com. Use our promo code allday15 to take 15% off of your order at simplyseattle.com. But they also do the score prediction challenge, which is a social media post that we put on Instagram. I sound like the oldest man in the world. I sound like these guys with the young kids start eating in meeting rooms, Katie. It's a social media post. Anyway, go to our Instagram. It's at alldayfamily. And we put up the post. It's a collab between us and Simply Seattle. You guess the score, you predict the score in the comments, and if you nail it, you get entered for a chance to win the gift card, which is up to $100 because we add $25 to the pot every week that someone doesn't nail it. Ed, what is the score going to be?
Oh man, this is a tough one. I grabbed my seat to see that the Cardinals are getting 3 in this one. So a lot of people probably on the fence as I am. I hate picking against my team. Just I'd like to say that first and foremost. I hate, but if we're going to be right and fair, we got to go. We can't be fans. We got to. And for me, this one is one of those inconsistent. We're in that rut right now. Do we find our way out of it? I don't think we do, and I think you guys are trending the other way. So this is Seattle Seahawks 31, Cardinals 28. I think, yeah. I don't think we can hit that 30 mark, and I think we come up just a little short. So mark me down there. I'm thinking Seahawks win this one, and like I said, I hate picking against them, but I like being more right than loyal. So
Ed is a tortured man, Lofa. You can hear it in his voice. He doesn't want to do it, but he's doing it. What do you got?
Okay. Yeah, I think it won't be a low scoring affair like last time. I think both of these teams can move the ball. It just comes down to red zone defense. And, both have looked pretty decent. So I expect to see a couple more field goals than usual. But I bet they convert this time with, the scouting that they have in the last 2 weeks. So give me Seahawks 23, Cards 21.
Ooh, okay. All right. I think it's going to be more high scoring than last time, like I've already said. But I do think our defense is up to the task. They've been playing great 2 weeks in a row, got the defensive player of the week. Lofa wants to make it a hat trick. I want to make it a hat trick. I can't sit here and say that the defense is going to continue to play well and then say they're going to give up like 30 points. So I got us only giving up 17, which is Lofa's magic number. And I think we'll be right on it. But then I think the offense pulls away at the end and manages to put up 29 overall. But so during the game, it's going to be like your classic Seahawks game where it's a bit nerve-wracking. It shouldn't really be as close as it is, but for some reason it is. For some reason I can't just sit and enjoy it. But then at the end, I think we pull away and maybe finish by putting a knee on it for once. Can we?
That'd be sweet. We did it last week.
That'd be nice. Yeah, that's true.
Took forever, but we did it.
How quickly we forget as a Seahawks fan, don't we? Oh, man. Ed, we love you, man. Thanks for being on the show again. And everybody, you can find Ed on the Easy Sports Talk Show. You can follow him on the social media at Ed Smith Speaks. And Ed, tell us about the book again. And Lofa, you weren't here last time, but we got into Ed's story. I mean, just an incredible athlete, incredible story of how he even got to the NFL in the first place. And there's a book about it, right, Ed?
Yeah. First off, thank Katie for always reaching out. And I love jumping on with you guys. And I hope you have a great finish to the year and happy holiday season to you as well. So Merry Christmas and all that good stuff. And I appreciate, my story, man. I went 9 years of baseball, 87 to 95. I switched over, started playing football, first over in Europe in World League of American Football. Did that the spring of 96, worked my way into the league, Redskins, like you said, a couple years of Falcons, Lions, Eagles, played in the Super Bowl and after the 98 season, my second season in Atlanta, and then finished up in the first version of the XFL. So all of that is kind of in the book. It's called Easy Does It, The Journey of a Lifetime. That's E and a Z, Does It, The Journey of a Lifetime. If you go to my website, edsmithspeaks.com, you go to the book page and you can order them, and every book that you order comes directly from me, and I autograph them and send them out. I know a lot of people go to Amazon and stuff like that, but you're not buying it from Ed. You're buying it from Amazon when you go that way. So I always encourage people, if you want a signed copy, just go to edsmithspeaks.com. And I got to give you guys credit, too, because shortly after we were on a couple weeks ago, a couple book orders came through. And, I mean, they sporadically come through all the time, but I don't call that coincidence. So that was really cool. So I love sending them out. And like I said, it chronicles not just my professional sports life. It gives you the whole story from start all the way up to, a few years ago, so
hell yeah, man.
About sports,
and shout out to the All Day family. Yeah, hell yeah. They're always supporting.
There you go.
For you guys.
Always, the sad part about us being on now is we did it like almost back-to-back weeks. Normally we do it early in the season, then we do it late. So we crammed our get together in these 2 weeks, but I appreciate you guys, man. And anytime, and I told you, I would love to have you guys jump on our show soon too. We're getting ready to launch even some more stuff, nationally and stuff like that. So I'll be in touch so we can all get together, man.
Will do.
Yes,
Will
sir.
do. Cool.
Appreciate you, Ed.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you guys.
guys.
You guys take care, man. All righty. You too.
Man, what a cool guy.
What a good dude. Yeah.
And seriously, shout out to the All Day family, because whether we're putting up, links of our merch and you guys are supporting that, or you're supporting our sponsors. I mean, we've heard back from sponsors that you guys are supporting them, and just to hear from Ed, you guys are out there buying his book, and go do it again, everybody. Christmas time, like you said, is coming up. His story is incredible. I'm sure the book is awesome. And what a cool detail that he talked about ordering from him. You get it autographed.
Yeah. I'm going to pick one up because I love, the story. That's what it's all about, the journey, right? Yeah. Every time we have a guest on that played, and he said 9 years of baseball. Did you guys actually go through it a little bit? Like he was playing baseball for 9 years.
We chatted about it last time he was on the show. He got drafted, I think, out of high school, and followed that dream through the minors. And I mean, 9 years in the minors in the early or late 80s, early 90s,
88 to 95. Yeah.
I wonder, I want to know what baseball was just like at that time, right? Like, just what a time capsule and image.
Probably pretty awesome.
Guys. Like, just crazy stories, I'm sure. But then starts in Frankfurt on the Galaxy in 1996 because he's like, I think I'll give football a try. And he's 6'4", 235.
Right.
Also think of him playing baseball, right?
But just everyone listening, All Day fam, if you're still here, we appreciate you. But the fucking willpower that man has, like, to not, one dream ended. He pivoted, and he's like, I'll just go to the NFL. Do you know how talented you have to be to have that kind of an option? Like, I'm actually just lucky I didn't have that kind of an option. I was like, this is all I'm going to do. We're going to find out if I'm good enough, but it's all I'm going to do.
You guys go get the book, but just quickly reading, on the internet, like little tidbits and stuff. Played for the White Sox, the Brewers, the Cubs, the Indians, and then in his football career, the Falcons, the Eagles. He was, he declined football scholarships out of high school in order to go play baseball, and he was like just this crazy athlete growing up in New Jersey. All kinds of awards growing up. So to your point, just crazy all-around athlete. And I don't know, I love chatting with him. But he's kind of down on his team though. Wish we could, I don't want to try to pick him up about his team because it's division rival, but I find myself in that awkward place of being like, come on, Ed, it's not so bad. And then I get real nervous that his Cardinals are going to take it to our Seahawks, eating some crow this weekend, Anyway, oh boy, fun to chat with him. Let's whip around the league real quick and check out some headlines and different things that are going on. More injuries. It's always about injuries. I almost hate reporting on this stuff because it's such a bummer. But Zach Martin, season-ending surgery in Dallas. Trevor Lawrence putting on. He's going to miss the rest of the season with this concussion protocol and being put on IR. And there's this whole, all the fallout from this hit. Aziz Al-Shair suspended 3 games. And, like I said, I hate talking to injuries. I hate talking about this stuff, but this is like the biggest headline going on around the league. And people want to know your thoughts, not just, on the hit, but just, I don't know, everything having to do with it. So what'd you think about it and the suspension and everything?
I think they carefully thought about the punishment for the action. I think they need to tell these quarterbacks to get down sooner. Like, you're carrying the ball, man, and you better be clear. Like, oh, you do not want any of the action. You get down. You see me running at you. Like, I'm not saying this is. They're taking advantage of a loophole in the rules of, like, if I just keep pushing a little further, I can. But then you see what happens: a vicious hit like that. Mm-hmm. I felt like the punishment fit the action because there were some questionable, and I don't know, Aziz, I've loved watching him play. He is an ultimate competitor, just does not stop until that whistle's blown. But I've seen someone posted a reel of like, some hard hits that were either out of bounds, a step out of bounds, or judgment calls. But I mean, you have to make it, a clear line in terms of, these quarterbacks, you run the risk of getting injured when you run the ball. Like, this is, everybody else has to do it. Like, it's just, but I'm glad he's okay. What's up? Go ahead.
No. I everybody else has to do it is almost what my point was going to be. So it just caught me. It's a great way.
Like, well, because think about it. Everybody else has to do it, and they're not paid what these quarterbacks are paid, and they're not protected like these quarterbacks are protected. Literally, even in this instance, no one has that, freedom or autonomy to just be like, oh yeah, journey's over. We've seen guys try to do it, but they're at a different position, running back or wide receiver, like they're going to hear it from their team. Like, hey man, like don't do that. Like, get that extra yard. So it's unfortunate. I'm just glad he's going to be okay. I think Jacksonville's doing right by him. Like, hey, like let's do not risk him out there again. But Trevor, he's bigger than most linebackers. That's a big dude. Like, and it's just, I think in some instances, because I think that was right by the first down marker. But it's just unfortunate, man.
I feel like it's almost like hard to have an opinion on this one way or the other, because it's just so open-ended, because like on some level, like let's just play football. To your point, like you're running the ball with the ball. Like, aren't we playing football? Like either you're going to take it in the shoulder, if you're going to slide, you might get hit. Like, find ways to protect yourself. All these different things. Get down earlier. To your point, we could change the rules where, like, if someone's sliding, you're only allowed to two-hand touch them. I guess. Like,
you're still gonna get some nasty whiplash off the shoulder contact to the chest when he's going back. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying I have no idea how to fix it though, right? Because like you don't want your quarterbacks going head first, like with Tua, and you don't want that.
Well, when I went at a quarterback, because like they were still sliding, but like it was no holds bar. Like that's like you could hit. If he didn't get down and you did catch him with a forearm to the face mask or whatever, that's on them, right? Mm-hmm. That's how it was. And so, but I used to always go for like the stomach or the belt buckle. That's where your eyes should be anyways. But if I go at that target and he slides under that, I'm sailing over him, and he gave himself up and he doesn't get touched. Like my knee or toe might hit him on the way by, but it's not going to be as vicious as, what we witnessed.
Yeah. Well, and they've changed the rules over the years somewhat to the whole process anyway, because I mean, maybe you could have gotten the full slide even back in the day, and now it's where the slide starts. And so then that's why the quarterbacks are trying to go a little bit later, because it's where the slide starts. And so it's a bit of a symptom of the rule that was created to try to protect them in the first place. So the whole thing is just kind of a mess, to be honest with you. And so to some extent, like it almost makes me want to be the old man leather helmet kind of vibe, which is like, hey, you're running the ball and injuries are injuries, and this is football. And as long as you're not, I mean, no one's out there trying to hurt anyone, but it's football and people are going to get hurt while they play the game of football. And just because one guy makes hundreds of millions of dollars and another guy doesn't, why are we protecting one over the other? Because it's a financial investment and I'm supposed to buy into that as a fan. And so sometimes I just want to go, let's just play football. But that's never going to happen,
brother. No, but I'm just saying, like, you're right. Okay, that is the highest paid player. They also get the most endorsements. Like, they're protected everywhere else. Can they just play football while they're on the field?
Right. Yeah, I know. And as a fan, like, of course you wouldn't want to see your quarterback go down because of injury. You're pinning your hopes and dreams on that player, but this is football. It happens. And if that happens, your team's supposed to adjust. And this is the game we play. It happens at every position. But when it just seems like that slide, and then when someone comes over the top, there's like more injuries from that, like, the slide than the not slide. Then when they kind of ball themselves up, as long as they're not going too, head first.
But I mean, like if I was a quarterback and I know every time I slide where the slide starts, I lose yardage from here going forward, and I still get, I'm subject to get a massive hit. Well, then why don't I just dive forward a couple of yards earlier and get more yards and not take a hit?
Yeah.
Like,
I know. It's a messy one. Let's
Lionel
see.
Messi.
More injuries. CMC.
More injuries. Oh,
my
yeah.
fantasy team. My fantasy team. I'm never
Dude.
doing it again. I'm never taking a Niner ever again. Never. I don't know why I did this year. I didn't want to do it. I had the first pick in the draft. I didn't know what to do. I
Yeah.
got scared. The clock was counting down. I panicked. It's been a mess. Never
Yeah.
again. But he's out.
I'm concerned for his career, man. And I know, I think it was just reported a PCL that, he will be fine, but this is on the heels, pun intended, of his Achilles, both sides. And it's like, so if you're hyper focused on keeping those safe, you might be at risk elsewhere, just not running the same. Your stride or your pattern, your gait is off. And now you're getting a susceptible injury elsewhere. And like, it's just, I'm not going to say it's time to shut it down. He's got a whole year to prepare and get ready. But then even right after him, Jordan Mason, he's out, right?
Yep.
And so, yeah, injuries are part of the game, but it does seem like more and more guys are getting injured these days. And I don't know if it's because of the specialized training, year round. Like, are they just not giving themselves any time to recover? Are they putting on too much muscle mass, for what their body can hold? Because I see receivers that are like twice the size of me. I was a middle linebacker just 10, 12 years ago. There's receivers that are twice the size of me. Not even just height wise, like shoulders and width too. Like, geez, that guy's bodybuilder.
Yeah. And in a short amount of time too. I mean, again, not to be just like the old Leatherhead guy, but when we were young, if there was a guy over 300 pounds, that was like the only guy in the game. Only 300 pounds.
Yeah.
Maybe the only guy in the division. Only a couple. Like Jumbo Elliott and like maybe Saragusa. You could count the guys on one hand, really, back in the day. And now the entire offensive line is over 300 pounds, without a doubt.
Yep. And some defensive line. Like, evolution, right? It's going to get bigger, stronger, faster all the time. But it's also crazy. Just, it seems like a lot more guys are injured now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Deontay Johnson suspended by the Ravens for a game for refusing to go back into the game. It's a weird story.
Refused to go back in?
Yeah. Yeah, that's all it says. Like, from Schefter, I tried to get more. It's just conduct detrimental to the team. They're on a bye week, so they're not playing this week anyway. And then so he's suspended for the game after the bye, and for not going back into the game, for refusing to enter the game, it says.
I mean, that's definitely detrimental. I mean, we would call that treason back in the day. What do you mean you're not going in? It's your job, bro. But yeah, that's a new one. I've never heard that one. Just, nah, I'm good, coach. Like, it's like, well, what was that? Leon, was it a Snickers commercial? He's like, nah, I don't think I'm going back in. That last time I dropped that pass and everybody booed, it hurt my psyche.
Right. Right. Yeah. I don't know, man. The kids these days, they don't even want to play.
I guess not. I mean, there's got to be more to the story, but still, like, it's a team sport, man. Can't let your boys down, your bros, man. Like, doesn't matter what kind of beef you got with your coach or whatever the situation is. There's a situation, because maybe he was hurt, really hurt, and the trainer's like, "No, get back in there," because I've seen that before. And like, guys, like, I can't even run. Like, the whole game is, if you can run, you could play. But so I've seen that happen before. But yeah, I gotta know what else happened. Something had to happen.
Yeah, you figure, I mean, if he was injured, then the team, you would think, would have mercy on that once they find out the story, or not just say, "Oh, okay, well, you're injured, fine. Well, you're suspended anyway."
Yeah. Well, I was just saying, like, what I've seen happen is like a guy just like, I can't run, and they're like, he's fine, and it's like, just everybody's like, what the hell? Yeah. So, but this is
not going well after being traded from Carolina, though.
Oh yeah.
Here's a weird one. And again, here's another strange one that I don't have too much info on, but here you go. Jahmyr Gibbs posted TikTok. Again, this is like the weird old man meets new world episode.
Was that on social media?
Yeah, he posted some TikToks with offensive play calls and protection breakdowns in the background.
Oh, no.
Oops.
I mean, how do we know those weren't dummy calls? No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't put it by them because like that whole board was covered. I was like, oh, that's a whole playbook. And like, I mean, my sick thoughts, I'd be just studying like, okay, yep. I'm just so if I hear that and if I see one of those words that they call out, then I was like, all right, we got something, boys. We got their whole playbook.
Yeah, I like it. Maybe not Dallas. Maybe Detroit is doing a little counter espionage though. Maybe they're throwing people off the scent.
I think it'll probably they'll probably do another one with some fake stuff up there, and like I would just put all the runs. They're like, okay, when we say zone left, everybody go deep. Just I tell all the receivers, we're play action zone, and we're just fucking airing it out. But no, I like Dan Campbell's response though. I did catch that. Did you hear Dan's response?
Oh, what did he say?
So they're like, are you upset with him at, for social media posting the whole, like, all your audibles and everything's up there? And he's like, it's not great, but he's like, if, that's all it takes to beat us is knowing, then we're not very good as a team. And so I just thought that was a very present moment, correction of a guy's mistake and something that I think these kids these days would appreciate too. I'm sure behind closed doors, he was like, hey, bro, don't do that again, please.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm talking about. Can you coach with the times? Because Dan was an old school, still is old school, tough as nails. Like, we don't play that shit. So I guarantee you it pissed him off. But I'm sure in his time as a great leader, he's learned to adjust his style and he responded favorably when asked with a tough circumstance situation.
Yeah. Speaking of the situations, though, we're back to this. Producer Katie handed me this for Johnson at the Ravens. It's curious. He entered the game, or he never entered the game. Yeah, he suited up, starting wide receiver, sidelined in the second half with a knee injury. Johnson he was standing by a heater later on the sideline.
He still didn't enter.
He was supposed to go in, but didn't leave the heater. Yeah. I don't know.
He was injured, and then he just wanted to stay warm.
No. Someone else got injured.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Someone
so
else
they're
got
like, hey, they're like, bro, get in there. I'd be like, bro, run the ball. All right, ready.
I don't know.
I'm hurt. He's hurt. Everybody's hurt. Run the ball.
No, I'm gonna stay by this heater.
He's like, you know how cold it is out there? Come on, coach.
It's cold. No, man.
I'll give you my uniform. Yeah, I'll give you this uniform. You get out there.
Bro, coach, I got sideline passes for this game. You got great seats. I'm watching.
Oh, man.
Hey, let's talk to a Seahawk. How about that? It's going to be Pharaoh Brown. We love the tight ends this season. We're going to delve deeper into the tight end room with Pharaoh Brown from the Seahawks. He should be sitting down here any second.
We're like the Pokemon. We're going to collect them all.
Yeah.
All the tight ends.
Make a sweet shirt.
Our guest for this episode is Seahawks tight end Pharaoh Brown. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Lofa, we're ticking off all the not ticking off, but we're like checking off all the tight ends in the room. We've had AJ, we've had Brady, Noah, finally Pharaoh.
Yeah.
So is the word spreading through the tight end room that you got to go do the all day show?
I'm thinking so. Nice little room suite.
Yeah.
Right? And a hell of a room it is.
I love
actually,
energy in the background too.
Yeah, let's go. Right? And I mean, it comes through. That's producer Katie, by the way. But, the energy, that's when I see you play and mainly kicking people's ass. That's what I love. That's the style I played way back in the day. But where did that come from in terms of, is that just the Ohio thing? Because Barner kind of got a little bit in him too.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how I kind of grew up playing football. That was football, I think that's why we all played was the physicality aspect of the game and just being able to go out and hit people and I mean, I grew up with the Nutcracker drills, bull in the ring, you know, forbidden drills now.
Can't do those anymore.
Well, also though, Pharaoh, it's an all-time name. Like in the name draft, Pharaoh Brown, that's an all-timer. Can you give us the origins?
My mom has just found it in the Bible and kind of just like kept it with her, and just went with it. She didn't really tell too many people about the name. I only met like one or two pharaohs from this long journey, so it's not like a such common name, and she didn't really want people to deter from the name or anything like that. So my mom just kind of held it and went with it when I came out.
Man, it works, man. I mean, if you're going to be what you're listed here, 6'7", 263, and just dunk it on people, you might as well have one of the best names out there, right, Lofa? I mean, Lofa knows.
Oh, I just keep thinking, okay, dude, like I've been praising you as most pharaohs get praised, right? So it was aptly named. But I think it was against the Dolphins. I saw you go head up with Jalen Phillips with no help. I was just thoroughly impressed with that one. You know which one I'm talking about. You motioned over to the right. It was 1-on-1. And the confidence the coach is having you to do that. But then a couple weeks ago, the triple stiff arm and not going down. That's why I was wondering, was there a wrestling background kind of like Barner, or is this, I feel like it's just an Ohio-based thing because you grew up in Ohio too, correct?
Correct. It's just a mentality thing. I mean, when I'm out there, I just, I'm always telling myself I can't be stopped. Nobody on the field can mess with me. Nobody can deal with me. They don't want to deal with me. They can't deal with me. And, I feel like I'm stepping out there. I'm the best inline tight end. So with me saying that and with me doing that, I got to go show that, right? And that's just kind of what I think about when I step out there. I don't really feel that nobody could play with me, and I'm going to play all day. And it's just like my mentality. And you kind of just go out there and just play. Like, I remember my friends asked me, what was you thinking when you were stiff arm? I was like, I didn't even know who was there, how many it was. I was like, it's kind of like a bar fight. You just in there just moving through, like, you know what I mean? You don't know where punch is throwing, but you just like, it's like
just
your
keep
eyes
going.
just like, yeah, you just keep going. It's like eyes on the target. Let's roll.
Did you have to adjust your game at all? Because I mean, I assume, and this is where I may be wrong, because when you left high school, 6'7", I'm thinking it's a massive target. Oregon was throwing the ball a lot. I know you were originally committed to Michigan, but you go to Oregon, like now, were you in the trenches more, or was there like what take us there? Like, and what went through your mind in terms of like developing more of the skill set?
I think it was all, we did everything at Oregon. People don't believe it sometimes because with Chip Kelly, how we was running, but we always ran the ball a lot. And then my tight end coach was a special teams coordinator. So we had to start on at least 3 phases with him. So I played special team as well. And also like did a little fullback. I just kind of always wanted to play. I think my blocking really got good when I was a rookie at Oakland. It was Bruce Irvin, Khalil Mack.
Yeah, Khalil Mack.
And then the second was like Danico Autry. He's like a 5 technique now. Jahad Ward, Mario Edwards. The linebackers was Navarro Bowman. Safeties was Reggie Nelson. I mean, it was guys, and I was on practice squad the whole year. So it was like, you either gonna tighten it up or you gonna just get your head bust every play. And me, I'm like, I'm not letting nobody, just bust my head every play. Like, but with the first string versus Bruce and Khalil, that's how it be. Then you go on the second string with guys that's actually guys too. You know what I mean? You had to hold your own. So that's kind of like where my blocking really got good, like blocking those guys, you know what I mean, for the whole practice squad year.
How about on this team? I mean, you got some guys you're going against in practice every day on this defense, huh?
Yeah, we got some good guys, but I mean, we kind of don't even really go against each other now. It's so late in the season, and I can't disclose my guys.
Oh no, not at all. But I mean, I think so. Armstead and Buckner were there too, right?
Oh yeah, then they was in college. They was in college too. It's crazy,
man. Talk about Clash of the Titans with you guys. That had to be some practices.
them was all my roommates. So we had a bunch of competition all through college.
Well, as a Husky fan, it's against my better nature with all this Duck talk. But Lofa said before you sat down that I had to let you have a minute to talk about your Ducks. They're having a great season. Is this the year they can finally do it?
Yeah. I like that. That's an Oregon green hat, so you kind of halfway there right now.
Oh no!
Yeah, I think it's the year. I'm feeling pretty good. It'll be interesting to see how these playoffs work out. I mean, this is kind of like a new landscape. It's way harder. I mean, so much stuff entails now. It's not like we win next week, now we're in the big game. You got to put it together for a couple extra weeks, and we all know it's like getting the playoffs and anything can happen. So it's a new landscape now, with these games. Can guys stay healthy and all that stuff? You know what I mean? Usually a lot of guys would be like clocking out for the, couple weeks, and you got finals, December, you got a few weeks off before it starts. I don't even know when it starts now, but it's a lot that go in that could lose preparation. But I think Coach Lannon and keep them all together.
Well, speaking of going on a run, you guys are on a run right now. How's the team feeling? How's the mood in the tight end room?
I didn't even know we was on a run. We play Arizona this week. It's a playoff game. I mean, I've been in the league and haven't been able to reach the playoffs. So, I mean, it's one day at a time for me, and just that's just my mindset, just going to work. I mean, you look back at the season, we started off 3-0 and everything was hot. Then you lose to the Giants and you drop a couple like that you say you win. That's like the league. So, I mean, definitely not. For me, I feel like I was a little happier then, and like it kind of like humbled you. You know what I mean? It's like, man, I ain't been 3-0 in a long time. This kind of feels good. You know what I mean? Then you come and drop them games, and it ain't really feeling good. So, that was a quick, week learning lesson. Like, hey, man, I don't feel good until we get to the Super Bowl and win it.
Amen, brother. Yeah, you can't take anything for granted. It's any given Sunday. Well, that's how it's said back in my day. Now it's like any given Sunday, Monday, Thursday, whatever days we don't have football. But you're right. But you just got to prepare like that. And I just, we love what we're seeing out there, man. You guys look like you're having a lot of fun. And so like it all started after that bye week. Is there anything you can point to, like whether it's just specifically in the tight end room as a group? Because like I feel like you guys are not just a fun group, but like a kind of a heartbeat of you're asked to do everything, right? And what specifically, as leaders of the offense too, like have you guys done to like focus and take it just one game at a time?
I think it started by like our room. That's who we spending the most time with, and just allowing that stuff to kind of like just feed off of us. If our energy is right, if our room is right, then it would be it would catch fire within the offense. And I mean, everybody's just had this grinding mentality of like just getting better and better. And like, even when you winning, it's like, there's so many things that we're not doing right or correct, and striving to get those things correct, and honestly, it's like the whole offense, and everybody, every position group does it. Gino does a great job of it too, and I think it's just catching fire, and everybody is just, feeding off that and just striving. Just, nobody's satisfied out there right now with our performance, and we still, trying to reach that spot to where we like, okay, that is us.
Hell yeah, man. Well, the 12s always travel well, but they especially travel well down in Arizona. So I think you guys are going to have a lot of support down there, a lot of blue, hopefully in the stadium, rooting you guys on. And I mean, we're cheering for you, man, and just feel the energy going into this weekend. It's going to be awesome.
Definitely.
We finish up with our players here with some random ass questions, Pharaoh, to be perfectly honest with you. Get to know you a bit more just as a person. I'm going to pick like my 2 or 3 favorites, Lofa, since we're running out of time. Sounds good?
Oh, I got to find my 2 or 3 favorites. Actually, you ask all 5. Get as many as you can through.
All right.
I don't have the questions.
Here's some rapid fire random ass questions for you here on the All Day Podcast. Do aliens exist?
Yes.
How many tattoos do you have?
my whole torso, no back, just the front.
What other sports do you play?
Now or then.
Ever.
Gotta be a hooper.
Snowboarder, horse, cowboy, hooper,
Cowboy.
track, wake surfer.
Wait a second, cowboy.
Elite pickleball
Weight
player.
surfing, pickleball. Like, we got an athlete, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, imagine the range on the pickleball court.
I got to see the highlights of the cowboy videos. Okay.
What's the last regular job that you had?
Caddy.
Throw golf in there. I know he can golf.
Yep. What's your halftime snack?
4 oranges.
Old school.
Very specific.
Old school. I like it. Last question. What's your favorite fruit?
Ooh.
Is it oranges?
I've been on a grape juice kick lately.
Pharaoh,
Let's
thanks for your
go.
time, man.
Yeah.
Give it well this weekend. We know you will.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, wait. Pharaoh got to break us down.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
What we break down on?
Whatever you want. Or, I mean, I'll go Ducks with you because my Trojans are
That's a
not
good
in
one.
it.
We should
I wanna
play a
see
little.
Brett
We should
say
play a
Ducks.
little. We should play a little Matt Kearney in the background on the exit.
Whatever you want to
how
bring it down to. On you, brother. On you.
Hey, Ducks on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Ducks.
Sucks. Oh, the things I do for you guys. I swear, I'm going to get nothing but cap in the comments now. I can feel it lean already.
Great. They're representing for the Pacific Northwest this weekend, man. I'm trying to get everybody to come support, man.
All right.
It's
All right.
good for the region.
I agree.
It's good for the region.
It is. Right? And the old school pack, right? I support it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I appreciate
Thanks,
you guys
Pharaoh.
having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Sorry,
no.
bro. Sorry,
I'm gonna
bro.
get a call from my brother. I'm gonna get a call from my uncle. I'm gonna get a call from everybody. No.
Hey,
I will put myself up for that though.
if I get a call from anybody from SC, it'll be the first time in 20 years since we won a national title.
Oh man, I love getting to know these guys though, right? And it makes me, and not that I have to root any harder or anything like that, but I love just getting to know them as people, you know, truly behind the face mask. Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, we're just regular people, and I know, you know, we love our job, but you don't get the personality that you get with baseball and basketball. And I don't want to call those individualized sports, but like they get a lot of attention individually is what I mean. And in football, we try to stay as far away from the spotlight because it's 53 of us, and trying to just, you know, be one heartbeat, one team, as cliche as that sounds. So you don't get a lot of camera time. And then we always get the helmets on.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's cool. Like cowboying.
I know.
I wanted to be, I had so many questions from there. Wait, what is officially like?
I know
the description.
We gotta get maybe in the off season, or you know, we gotta try to get these guys for longer amounts of time. You know, we only get a certain amount of time in their meetings and this and that, but
we'll go follow them one after. I'll make you do a workout. I'll do a workout with them, and then
I'm in.
Yeah, and then we'll go do a day of fun, all day fun.
Oh, I thought you meant we just camp outside the facility and see one of them leaving, and then just follow them to wherever they're going.
Yeah, just tail them.
For a second.
Just tail them. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
You guys,
no,
I know.
We'll get in there. We'll go get a workout, and then we'll go to the recovery station, eat with them. But then like a day off. Like if one's a golfer, we'll go play around of golf, and one cowboying. I don't know where. I mean, I know some ranches out here. I'm not getting on that fucking horse though.
Oh, come on.
Hey,
no way.
Looking for a segue here. If you want to come down and get on your horse in Arizona and see the Hawks in person. Yeah, use epicseats.com, everybody. There's tickets they available obviously for the Packers, a home game up there in Seattle, and for the Vikings, the last home game of the season, isn't it? Because then we finish up with 2 on the road back to back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
guys, last chances, unless there's a home playoff game, of course, which we're all rooting for, and hopefully there will be. But yeah,
Yes.
last chance up there in Seattle, these last 2 games, Packers and Vikings. Jump on epicseats.com. And if you have seats that you're trying to sell, make sure you only sell them to Seahawk fans, of course. But if you are going to sell them on epicseats.com. And thank you to them. That's it for us. We're out here. Enjoy the game. Don't forget the score prediction challenge. And that's all I got. You want to say bye to the people?
Bye to the people. Much love, fam.